What's going on, everybody? We just finished up the Tony Hawk build. We're going to go ahead and bust open the Optimus Prime one, open it up, turn it on, make sure everything's good, take it apart, and get all the shell and other components that we already have ready for it slapped on here. The Optimus Prime build. No, so obviously there's just a random shell on there when I sent it in. We actually don't have side panels for this one. We do have the top, bottom, front, all that ready to go. And our hard drive, we're actually going to throw in this other 320. That other one had the Tony Hawk games on it. This one should have all the same stuff. I don't know if it'll have Tony Hawk or the Transformers game. We'll see. So yeah, we got to slap that in there, put it in, test it out, and then we'll take it apart. And we still don't have everything quite figured out on here. We do have our DVD drive and everything. We're not going to have the big fan, but we may try out the liquid top shell on this piece. First of all, I just realized this faceplate, the sync button, the little peg on the back's broken off, so I can't connect this. Also, this one has the UV purple with the yellow on the outside, ring of light. And you know what? Those are the only two custom ones I actually have at the moment. I think that would actually work in this one, and this one's the red and blue to go into this one. But if I did that, I would like the UV fan in there. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Either way, this one, yellow and purple, isn't really going to match with this. But yeah, boots up, X-Guard. I don't want to try to rip this off while it's on, so... Okay, take two. There we go, connected. But yeah, you can see it's like purple in the middle, and then I think it's supposed to be white on one across and yellow on the other, but the white sort of looks yellow, and the yellow is very yellow, or orange, I guess, if you will. But yeah, really like this one. Still gonna figure out which eject button and drive bezel we'll use with the faceplate. It is yellow on the top part of the faceplate. Maybe we'll use part of the clear yellow bezel stuff up there. We'll see. XB guard. Looks like there's already something on there. Alright, looks like we'll have to deal with that rubber band in the DVD drive. This was sort of my test Jasper. Well, not my test one. It's just a Jasper unmodded one I've had for a really long time that I've kind of used in builds just to kind of, you know, have it work and see what it looks like with all the stuff on it. So I finally decided to send it in with the Tony Hawk one. We also have the blue Talisman fan in here. I don't know if we'll keep that. I believe it's all blue. But yeah, I'm not sure if we'll actually keep that one in there. We'll see. I kind of picture mostly red, but I don't know. I think the only red we actually have right now is the fan out here, which we're not using. But anyway, let's go down to games. Should be set up the same way. Black Ops, Ghosts, GTA, Modern Warfare. Yeah, there we go. Usual stuff. Alright, so let's start tearing this apart. I can already say, as cool as this shell is between the last clip and now, I already thought about this. I don't think I'm going to be using this. Even if I did use this top piece, I wouldn't want to use the bottom. I just am not ready to cut a hole in that other piece. And I don't really want to split up the liquid shell just yet. However, I walked right by the smoke clear shell that we got in this lot. And that was kind of the original plan for this build anyway. We just ended up taking it off and putting it on the Vader build. So I think that's what I'm gonna try and do, is put the smoke clear shell on here. Either way, we're gonna be using that really bright red LED strip, so we need to solder some of that up, because it's just a strip you need to cut and solder wires to. So I need to get that ready so I can test it out. And yeah, we'll just have like a really long strip, and either way with this shell we'll probably need pretty bright LEDs to really get an effect through there, because honestly I don't think with a regular strip you'll be able to really see like the emblem here or anything like that. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with smoke. But I do think I do want to use the clear yellow bezel, or at least eject button, up on the front with this faceplate. I think that'll be nice. And I do think I'm going to go ahead and quickly swap out our ring of light boards. I think this one will look just cool on this one with the UV and the yellow, just kind of an extra accent that doesn't necessarily go with this one other than the controller, I guess, but it's also white, so I don't know. But I do really think the blue and red is going to go perfect with this one. I think that was actually my original plan anyway. Got the yellow and purple ring of light swapped into Tony Hawk, so that one's all set, done, ready to go. We got the blue and red one put on here. Next up, we are not going to be using the Talus Moon fan. I want to use this blue one for another build. I actually have a red one that I think is in the Yoda one currently that's away right now. And he's actually going to keep that one and swap in his green one. So that's going to work for the Yoda build. But this one, we're going to be using two 60mm Noctua fans. Now these are pretty much quieter than the stock fans on 5 volts. These are quieter on 12 volts. So yeah, we're going to work on getting these mounted here. We can line up the holes, at least at the bottom. And I think at least if we get those ones in, these are going to be held in just fine. And we'll have a little bit of a gap above these, unlike the factory fans, to run the LEDs through and still fit inside the fan tunnel just fine. So nice little upgrade we're going to do there. And as far as the LED strip, I just realized the other end of it already has wires onto it. This is just kind of a pain to solder onto, and I don't feel like doing that today. I'm having a good day. So, and I also want to use as much of this as possible. So we're just going to start with the other end, splice that into a 3-pin, and yeah, once we get our fans in place, the fan tunnel is another thing I still got to figure out. The only clear ones I have are the clear blue and the crystal clear one, which is like the clearest piece of plastic I've ever seen in my life. Don't know if I can use that in here, and even if I did, you know, these aren't LED fans, so I don't know. I don't know what the point of that would be. But I'm not just going to use a white one. Would have to at least paint it black, and I could just like either drill a bunch of holes all over it and cover them on the bottom with plexiglass, or just cut giant windows out of different sections of here, fill it with plexiglass, or just make our own custom fan tunnel. We'll see. You found these screws, which were perfect. I just did the bottom ones on these fans, and these are definitely in place. And luckily these fans kind of have built-in anti-vibration, but we did put a little bit of a washer in between there. And then we've got those two cables ran over here. This is our 12-volt plug-in that's soldered directly below the plug-in here. We're going to use this splitter that I already have. It's a triple splitter. We're just going to cut this end off and make it a 3-pin to plug into that. So we can plug in both of these on 12 volts. And our third plug-in will be for our LEDs that have to be on 12 volts as well. That leaves our factory fan plug-in open. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw in the blue temperature display that has the flat sensor. I don't actually want to use that in the Slim because, like I said, it has a flat sensor, and we can just use Aurora with that. For water cooling, I'd rather have the plug-in if we're going to have a temperature sensor. I'd rather it read the water temp, even though that's going to be pretty similar. But anyway, so we need to make a quick adapter to go from here. As we know, our Xbox 3-pin is not the same as a standard 3-pin. They have switched the positive and negative, I believe, on those. So we have to make a little adjustment for that. Before we do that, let me grab that fan, plug it into just my power supply real quick, and put it underneath this shell to make sure it will be easily read through it. Got it plugged into my little, well, test thing, big test thing. Oh yeah. Especially if that's all the way up close to here. Yeah, you can read that very easily. We'll definitely add that probably close to the bottom here, and we'll put it over top of all that wiring. Kind of hide some of that. And see if I can fit this guy in there somewhere. Okay, so before I continue here, I took our DVD drive apart, re-soaked that rubber band. Well, I did it for the first time. That one was definitely hadn't been done before, just to kind of refurbish it, since it was getting stuck, at least in the upright position. And now we've got it hooked up to this old junk board. See, it's opening and closing just fine, but the real test here is going to be when it's upright. Opens up, closes just fine, nice and strong. Now that that's good to go, I can't put it in because we need to do the fan tunnel first. So, it's already kind of dark out. Well, it's completely dark out, but the weather has significantly warmed up, good enough to probably paint. I'm probably going to do a gloss black. I might check and see if I have that sparkly stuff left. If there's some, I might put a little on top. But before we do that, I think I like the idea of just drilling a bunch of random holes, even at different sizes, almost look like, you know, it got shot up with a machine gun or something. And then we'll just cover the backside of the holes with the plexiglass so that it's still a fan tunnel and with the normal airflow. And then, yeah, I got to drill all that. Give it a quick paint job. We'll let it dry overnight so that I can put this and the DVD drive in. I want the DVD drive in before I mount our guy in the corner here. And once he's mounted, we can run the long strip of LEDs as much as we can, all in the different spots and places. We'll see if we can get some on the back side as well, since we're going to use the full smoke clear shell on this one. So we're pretty much just waiting on the fan tunnel now. I went ahead and put this fan where the monitor was, because the monitor was right below this vent. And even though you'd probably still be able to read it fine, I wanted to move it up a little bit so it's about right here. So this is going to be attached to the fan tunnel once that's in place. And then we've got this orange and blue fan, but we'll have enough red LEDs, it's pretty much just going to look red anyway. We've got our guy up here in place, and then we've got our little adapter plugged in to power the fan and the temperature display plugged into the stock fan plug-in. Now I drilled a bunch of holes in the fan tunnel, tried to make it look like it had gotten like shot up, and then tried to paint it real quick so it could dry overnight. But I completely forgot to cut out the little corners for because these fans stick up a little bit more. So yeah, once that dries, I'll have to cut that out, and I'll probably have to put another coat of paint on it anyway. But anyway, I think we should be able to put the DVD drive in, put the top shell on, and at least plug it in, make sure we're still good, see what it looks like with the stuff shining through. And we've got our LEDs right here. If I can plug it in with one hand. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So, got that hooked up to 3-pin. I guess we could start running that, because some of it I want to run underneath the fan tunnel, and maybe even under the DVD drive just a little bit, like in the corner or something. So I guess we could start to run that a little bit. That way we could figure out how much of this we're actually going to need. Whatever we don't need, we'll cut along one of these lines as to not break the circuit. See all the plexiglass covering everywhere that there's holes, so there's no extra holes from what the original fan is meant for the hole, you know, the screws. it's not going to affect the cooling. Okay. Not quite final assembly yet. Started putting the LED very carefully all the way around, perimeter, wrapped it around the fan. We still got it coming out the back here, all this extra. But I have at least, excuse me, what I want on the top here, so we're going to throw the top shell on, give it a quick test. Noctua fans are going. 5-volt fan here's going. LED monitor, it's kind of behind that plus, which sucks, but it is also upside down. But anyway, that red looks fantastic. I love how you see this Transformers logo kind of ghosted through there. We'll see if we can bring the LED back around up here and maybe go on the top of the DVD drive. Get a little bit more on there, but yeah, that looks nice. And our ring of light. Awesome. Jesus. I better flip that monitor around. That's a real... that sucks. But anyway, then I guess I'm done here. I can put our screws in, and before we put the other half of the shell on, we're going to see how much more of this wire we can at least illuminate some of the back a little bit around the bottom, and then see if we can route it all the way around. It's nice how skinny this is, but there are very tight tolerances around the shell and the metal frame, so I'm really locked into finishing this up tonight. It is like probably 1 in the morning watching River Monsters. Had a bunch of packages I had to get ready, running around, leaving the house like 10 times. Anyway, we finally cut off the rest of the red LED strip. I just didn't want to continue to cram it into the back side of this. We were able to wrap it, where are we here? We were able to wrap it around, and then it went up this way, up along here, and then that's about it. This stuff, it's hard to kind of do a tight turn, and I didn't want to cram it around this side. There's just too much bracing and stuff where this touches this. So that's all we got up here in the back, which is fine. Just like Vader, I just had it across the top enough to see the ghost shell, and hopefully this will be enough. I just ordered another one of those stickers that I had on that one. You know, we had the Star Wars stuff, that I took it off, then we put the Optimus Prime stickers on it, then we took it off, then we put the Vader stuff back on there. I reordered the same ones. It just says shoot, does it say Transformers or Optimus? I think it says Optimus Prime, and then it's got the Transformers logo. And we'll probably put Optimus Prime like across here where the LED strip is, and we could put the logo anywhere, somewhere on the back or nowhere. But anyway, I got that in there, so I guess I should test it out one more time before I slap the rest of this stuff on. Aftermarket faceplate with a ghost shell is never going to be a good fit. But I was able to wrestle it on there. We'll have to make sure this doesn't catch on the faceplate when it opens. This works. This works. These are good. However, doesn't feel like this is pushing the button. And that's normally because a lot of the aftermarket faceplates, this little plus that's sticking out should stick out a little bit farther than the actual LED peg there. So if I might have to add a little bit of material on that, we'll see. I'm going to plug it in first and make sure it's just not like resting on there or something, see if we can get it to hit. But we definitely need to use this power button. I mean, that's the coolest part of the faceplate. I've been messing with this dang thing, literally all together, just this thing. And I thought this was too short, too tall, too something. tried gluing on a little something onto it. I could get it to where this was almost clipped on all the way. It seemed like it was clicking perfect, and then as soon as it'd go on all the way, it wouldn't. Long story short, you hear that? It's clicking, and it clicks pretty nice. I put just the perfect amount dab of hot glue that fit in that little perfect circle so that it just, yes. Alright, let's turn it on real quick, see what it looks like, and go to bed. Super cool. I love how the Noctua fans literally look like a Talisman fans. And gosh, that's a lot of good airflow coming out the back. Oh, thank God. I'm so glad to be done with that. Time to go to bed. No.